Welcome to Storytime with Uncle Sage. So this is the time that I was almost killed by killer bees. Okay, so that's a little bit of clickbait. They were not Africanized honeybees. Technically, they were not killer bees. But they were trying to kill me. And technically, they weren't bees. They were yellow jackets, apparently. But nonetheless, the story is still quite frightening. And honestly, I've never heard another story like this one that I'm about to tell you. When I was 5 years old, the old Marine preacher and I were going to the dump to get rid of some construction trash from a church remodel, and some household trash at the city dump. And now it was a hot day, and I wanted the windows down because it was hot. But it was also bad news for the windows to be down because it was stinky. We were down at the dump, and it was really bad smelling. And I was going to get out and help the old Marine dump out the stuff in the back of the truck. But he told me, just stay in the truck. There's rusted nails and broken glass out here. We don't want you getting hurt. Right? So stay in the truck where it's safe. Okay? So I had my window rolled up because of the smell. But, Dad had left the window down about this much on the driver's side of the pickup. And so I guess my first sign that something was off is that I saw a single bee, which turned out to be a yellow jacket, come in through the window and just kind of start flying around the cab a little bit. And of course, that's, if you've ever been in a have a bee in the cab with you, that's a little spooky. You're just like, oh boy, there's a bee. What am I going to do? And so I was watching him when 2 or 3 others came to the crack of the window and just kind of, they were inspecting the window frame and the hole for its size and viability. And pretty soon those 3 came in. And then I saw what looked like a human finger. An arm with a hand and a finger came through the window, but it was made out of bees. It was a solid mass of bees. And it just kind of poked through the window like this and kind of did this and looked around, and then it pointed right at me. And it was just like a cartoon. It kind of went, oh, look, boom, and they flew onto my head. And one of my last things I remember seeing at the window was this funnel of bees, this swarm of bees outside the window. There was a cloud, a virtual cloud full of these bees, and they were funneling in through that hole in the window and coming right through and just whoom onto my head, my face, my shoulders. And oh yeah, they were stinging me. So I'm screaming, I'm swatting at them, I'm trying to get them off of me, but they're covering, I can't even see, they're covering my head, my face, my shoulders. And I don't even see my dad open the door. I just hear the door fly open and my dad hit the seat. And I feel him pulling bees by the handfuls off of my face. And he gets them off enough of me that I could see what's going on. And I see him throw a handful of bees out the window. And just as soon as they get out the window, they come right back in. And so he takes his hat off. He's wearing a painter's cap, and he starts scooping the bees and throwing them out the window, scooping them and throwing them out the window. But they fly right back in, and and what's funny is he's not getting stung at all. I'm the only one getting stung. They are targeting me. These yellow jackets, this swarm, thousands, hundreds of thousands of yellow jackets are swarming me and me alone. And so the old man figures, this is not going to work. They're going to kill this kid. I got to get us out of here. So he starts up the truck, backs out, and we take out down the dirt road as fast as we can safely go without flying off the road. And now he's scooping the bees off and throwing them out the window. And because we're driving down the road, they can't come back in the window. And so eventually he gets them all off of my head, and I can see what's going on. And he rolls the window down, and he and I both are just throwing bees out the window by the handfuls. And that's kind of the last thing I remember because I passed out. So I was stung 176 times. Being the son of a Pentecostal preacher, I rarely, if ever, went to the doctor. This is one of 3 times in my life before I turned 18 that I actually went and saw a doctor. And I have no memory. I was out for about 36 hours. And from the sickness, from the venom, that the bee sting venom nearly killed me. And I was very, very sick. When I did wake up, my eyes were mostly still swollen shut, and I could only kind of see through slits. And it was several days before all of the swelling went down. And actually, the doctor was quite was quite blown away by the whole thing and quite shocked that I had not been killed, because as a 5-year-old I was tiny, and to get stung that many times and survive. And from the story of my father, he couldn't believe that I hadn't been stung more times than that, because there were so many swarming me. And pretty much the consensus of everyone involved was that they were swarming me because I had copper red hair as a child, like the color of copper wire. And it was very bright and vibrant, especially when the sun hit it. And I had very unusually colored hair. And that the color itself is what attracted them for some reason. I believe it was one of the first attempts of the devil trying to kill me. He's tried to kill me many times. He's used multiple methods to try to murder me. I don't think he wanted me to grow up and preach the gospel. I don't think he wanted me to grow up and make music. And one of these days I will talk more in detail about the systematic demonic attack on my life that went on until I got spiritually powerful. And I no longer have those attacks any longer. The devil gave up trying to kill me because, God won't let him. So that is the time I was attacked by not killer bee, yellow jackets. And I almost died from being attacked by these insects. And so, yeah, there you go. Story time with Uncle Sage, another close call. Oh, and to this day, if I get stung by a bee, it's like nothing. It's like I swat it off. It doesn't even hurt. I have such an immunity to being stung by bees or yellow jackets or hornets. It just, other people, it makes them swell up and it hurts really bad. And to me, it's just like, get off of me. I mean, mosquito bites bother me way worse. I am way more allergic to chiggers down in Texas. I hate those little red bugs down in Texas. I swell up like crazy with those. But bee stings, yellow jackets, nothing. They do nothing to me. I earned my immunity from that attack. But all right, see you guys later. Story time with Uncle Sage.